लीजिए वो है ना जो सारे वालेकुम। हाँ हाँ पहले आप ही हैं हम।
कभी कॉपरेट नहीं किया, ये हमेशा मुझे डिच करते हैं, भाग जाते हैं, फवाद दी बोल दो समझ नहीं आ रही।
आएगी आएगी, मैं इंटरप्रेट करा दूँगा जी।
देखा इससे पहले कि इसका बटन ऑफ करना पड़े।
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm welcome. You'll need headphones. Yes. Good morning, and a very warm welcome to everyone. Thank you for joining us. We are here for this very important discussion here, which is Recharge Pakistan as Life to Indus. So, Government of Pakistan launched the Living Indus initiative, and this program is the biggest initiative and the biggest one feeding into the Living Indus in itself. Recharge Pakistan, what is it all about? It's one of the biggest EBA interventions funded primarily by the Green Climate Fund and partnered with WWF International, USAID and the Coca-Cola Foundation for that matter. Pakistan, we all know, is among the top 10 most vulnerable countries. But now, with initiatives like the Recharge Pakistan and others, we are building resilience and becoming a resilient nation for that matter. Our direction towards resilience building is evidenced from interventions like these. So what is Recharge Pakistan? I'll give you a brief of what it is all about. So Recharge Pakistan aims to initiate a paradigm shift in Pakistan's approach to flood and water resource management by demonstrating the cost effectiveness, benefits, sustainability of ecosystem-based adaptation, green infrastructure interventions in the Indus basin. Indus remains the lifeline for the country and for the region as well. So its sustainability and its ecosystem restoration is the key to our livelihoods tomorrow. So within the whole thing, it's going to be integrating interventions, and ecosystem-based adaptation and green infrastructure interventions will aim to reduce flood extent by about 51,000 hectares and capture about 20 million cubes of water. Watershed management interventions, we aim to replenish 1.6 million cubic meter of soil infiltration water. And the project is supposed or expected to affect 700,000 people directly and about 10 million indirect beneficiaries from the whole project. It is divided into green infrastructures and ecosystem-based adaptation measures, the details of which will be defined by Hamad during his presentation. So as the course of the hour, we would have speakers. We will be launching the Recharge Pakistan documentary to start with, followed by a presentation by Hamad Naki Khan, the DG of WWF, and then remarks by our panelists. So can I request the documentary? Documentary. Okay.
It's getting recharged. Taking time and recharge.
Pakistan's lifeline supports its breakdown and green economy and sustains communities and ecosystems. But Indus and its people are grappling with the impacts of severe weather and climate change. Floods and droughts are recurring
Directly here.
increasingly severe.
So volume sir,
Pakistan is facing
100. ठीक है.
floods from the torrential rains cause rivers and their yards to overflow, wiping out entire villages. The aftermath of super floods, the accuracy of infrastructure management recharge Pakistan accommodates but in 2022, the crisis fell again, making a climate catastrophe. The flood in 2022 affected 33 million people and left 1/3 of the country submerged in water. Hundreds of people lost their lives, many more their homes and livelihoods. Essential infrastructure was damaged, including roads, bridges and markets, and there were far-reaching impacts on agricultural crops and livestock, resulting in an estimated $13 billion in losses and damages. Once again, this highlights the urgent need for improved preparedness against high-risk climate disasters and give fresh momentum to recharge Pakistan. WWF and the Government of Pakistan renewed efforts to secure funding from the Green Climate Fund, the world's largest dedicated climate fund, to support integrated flood risk management and ecosystem-based adaptation. A nature-based solution that enhances ecosystem services and biodiversity to lessen vulnerability to climate change. Feasibility studies were conducted during the project's design phase to select project sites based on their projects and their socio-economic, environmental, and ecological qualities. Feasibility studies at these sites have led to the development of a range of interventions, such as the rehabilitation of degraded watersheds and the restoration of natural flow paths and water channels, and green infrastructure such as recharge basins and protection areas, ground sites, which will increase surface water storage and groundwater recharge to support reforestation and the restoration of wetlands, and strengthen the climate resilience of local businesses in the agriculture and forest sector. By the Ministry of Climate Change and the Ministry of Water Resources, these interventions were developed in consultation with relevant industrial departments, national and subnational governments, and with the active engagement of local communities around the watershed and the Bukit Water Enhancement Plan, the Jazirang watershed in Balochistan, and Manchil Lake in Sindh to enhance ownership and ensure the long-term sustainability of the water. These interventions will help ensure that climate-based natural resource management
No, brother.
on 11th July 2020, Recharge Pakistan received official approval from the Green Climate Fund, becoming the largest national level investment in ecosystem-based approaches to flood and water resource management. The project, which will be implemented over 7 years, secured the grant of 77.8 million from the area. This includes a $66 million grant from the Green Climate Fund and a $20 million investment with support from the US Agency for International Climate, the Coca-Cola Foundation, and the Military of Pakistan. This historic investment in nature-based solutions will improve the resilience of Pakistan's water providing evidence for regulatory change and supporting paradigm shift, building climate change resilience.
Thank you so much for that. The project, as evident from the documentary itself, will have 3 core interventions, which would include demonstrating the effectiveness of ecosystem-based adaptation and green infrastructures, creating an enabling environment for climate action in the country, and then enhancing community resilience in Pakistan's Indus Basin. I'd like to invite Ms. Rumina Khurshid Alam, and I will, no matter what I do, will still be unjust if I start introducing her, but I would like her to not only talk about Recharge Pakistan, but also the initiatives which she has brought, like Global Shield, GGI, launching the Recharge itself, bringing the outside world to the country and making this COP a success from the Pakistan Pavilion. Been busy in so many things and other initiatives. So I'll stop here and I would request Miss Rumina Khurshid Alam, a friend, senior, a leader in this one.
मैंने बताऊँ मुझे पढ़ना नहीं। Well, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My dear fellows, very dear friend Hamad, who's hiding his eyes face from me, but it's okay. I warmly welcome my fellow colleague, Honorable Parliamentarian from KPK, who's a member of member of KPK, Secretary as well, and other all colleagues who are sitting over here, and all those who are going to hear this voice of mine. You know, although I got a speech written, but I don't know, I don't feel like to say that, because I always believe on the words which comes heart to heart, you know. And I think when it comes to Recharge Pakistan, I have a very emotional, attachment and a bond with this project, because I was being the parliamentary secretary when this project was being started, and we had, start talking about it. And although the journey was little long, in fact much longer, but today I'm really excited and Alhamdulillah that we got this largest project for Pakistan. And I really want to pay thanks to WWF, to USAID, and to Hamad and his whole team, that they have put a great effort. I think they deserve a huge round of applause. Because, you know, when it comes to I think, in this COP, everywhere, wherever I go and do talk in the different panels, there are so many things which everybody is talking, the people are talking, because usually people are saying that this COP is a finance COP. Although all the COPs are being like, I think, finance or whatever in a way, but the most important thing that what is we are going to take outcome from that. That is the most important thing. How we can get the funding for the vulnerable countries, how we can get the projects, access towards the projects from those fundings. And the fundings are globally, I think, in more than in the trillion, but how we going to get to them? That mechanism is somehow very hard. And I think country like Pakistan, who we all know that we are in the top 5 vulnerable countries, but with all pride, I always say that yes, we are vulnerable, but we are a resilience nation. And in this COP, I tried my level best to ask the right, not only for Pakistan, but also for the all vulnerable countries, that how we can fight and how we need to take our right, because I believe it's now or never. Getting back to the Recharge Pakistan program, the significance of this project is very much needed, because when we talk about the solutions, when we talk about how we're going to get towards like how we can face the challenges, I think one of the best example is going to be this project, because how we are going to bring like it is totally something which I believe that it is against this backdrop that I'm very proudly want to share that a visionary initiative in which how we going to engage the water, how we going to is something which is coming to us like the water, huge water, and how in easy words, if I want to explain, of course technicalities my experts are over here, they're going to brief on that, but I think that how that through the ecosystem based adaptation investment, how we going to work on that, how we can utilize that water, how we can work or engage that thing into the smart climate agriculture, how we can invest on that, and how we can do the rehabilitating of our forest, and how we can manage those things. So when it comes to the role of the ministry, we all know that when we talk about the Ministry of the Climate Change and Environmental Coordination, my job under the leadership of the Honorable Prime Minister is to do moreover to look forward for and to facilitate more to our provinces and to be engaged with them and to do the coordination, and that is something above any political issues we need to, because this is something where we do talk about the vulnerable countries, and so do the engagements and how we can learn from each other best practices. So in that, ministry is trying their level best that how we can engage and how we can bring the best of the best along with the best experts. And I'm really want to say thanks again to USAID and to WWF that it was a great proud moment for me. And when the 17 climate scientists were in my country. International scientists were in our country, and they came over there, and they do talk about Pakistan and how we can come up for the solutions. I think that was the most important thing for me, and that was like in which, as Mr. Hamad, who's looking after in the WWF in Pakistan, that is really something big. That not only that, how we can come up with more solutions, how we can bring things more towards for the success, because of course I believe that the solutions are always should be community based. And the best part, as you have seen in the documentary, that they are engaging more the local communities, because until and unless we are not going to engage the local communities, local solutions, thing won't work. So that is in just although I can say so much on that, but I don't want to take much more time. And of course, when it comes to, thanks to Fawad who talk about the other initiatives as well, I think where there's a will, there is a way. It's all our responsibility that what we want to do for the nature, how we want to I don't want to say that I want to leave any legacy, because I think that is not my job. My job is to do or to try to give or deliver whatever in my capacity I can give, and rest along with the team. I just wanted to say thanks to everyone. Everyone from my ministry, everyone from my partner organization. I really want to say thanks to everyone who's been the part, because one-man show won't work. It's always a teamwork. And this COP success, I believe that everyone who's talking that about the Pakistan Pavilion and everyone, I think it's not Rumina, it's all of you. It's Fawad, it's my team, Navi, everyone who's sitting over here, they all are the reason and the strength. And I just want to extend my sincere gratitude and looking forward, and thanks for once again for the presence. I would love to invite you to Pakistan. Do come over there, and I think we are looking forward. And with this project, I think we want to ensure you that this is the beginning. More to go, and looking forward. Thank you very much. Have a great day. God bless you all.
Thank you so much for being such a good team player and a good team lead, and for your continuous support. I'd now like to invite Mr. Hamad Naqi Khan, he's the DG WWF Pakistan, to actually present the Recharge Pakistan.
Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning. I think for me today is a special day. We formally announced Recharge Pakistan in the last COP. Today in this COP, we are in a position where we have officially and in the field launched this program. My job is to briefly share with you the salient features of this program, and how is this program different from a lot of other flood risk management projects that the government or other organizations implemented and supported by different donors. But let me take maybe 30 seconds to share with you a little information about my organization. WWF is part of the global WWF network, which is present in more than 120 countries. We are the largest national organization now in the network. Pakistan, now we have it's almost now 1,200 people working for the organization. We started in 1970, and there are 50 plus projects that we are implementing with an annual budget of $15 million. As the largest nature conservation organization, our focus is on forest, wildlife, marine, climate and energy. Food and agriculture is comparatively a new program that we are implementing. Now this map, the map of Pakistan, if you look at the different dots, that shows WWF offices and projects. So that's our strength. From mountain to mangroves, WWF is present and implementing these 50 plus projects in close collaboration with the local communities, the relevant local government departments, academic and research institutes, and other partners. Now coming straight to Recharge Pakistan, this project, if you look at why is this project unique? I think as Ma'am Ramina also mentioned, we are a vulnerable country. Now, we have seen that there's a trend. What is that trend? The trend is that we have heat waves, we have drought, and then we have, forest fires, and then uncontrolled monsoon rains or riverine floods and hill torrents. So this is now becoming, particularly after 2010, this is becoming a kind of a regular feature, which is very unfortunate. So I think it's critically important that along with other initiatives, the pure engineering initiatives, we need to look and explore other opportunities. The other opportunities include nature-based solutions. The other opportunities include the eco-based adaptation, where we use nature in our favor, whether it's the watershed management, whether it's making efforts to reduce the flow of the flood water, or managing the natural drainage, particularly in the mountainous region. It's also very important to make our communities resilient, because these are the frontline people. And we have seen in 22 floods, these were the people who lost literally everything. Their livestock, their houses, they were on road. And they stayed on roads for months and months. I mean, I know that in certain parts of Sindh, there are still people who don't have a house. So I think it's very important to use the communities and find solutions which are cost effective, which are simple, and which protect them from the vulnerability of such climate disasters, climate-induced disasters, I would say. So this project is a 7-year project funded by the Green Climate Fund. After the 22 floods, we were slightly worried because the government of Pakistan had committed around $46 million for this project through the Flood Protection Plan 4. But all that funds were, for the genuine reason, were used for the rescue and relief of the affected communities. And the government said, and then we conveyed this to the Green Climate Fund, but they wanted, other partners. So taking this opportunity, I am very grateful. I'm very grateful to my colleagues in WWS, but to the two other partners, the USAID and the Coca-Cola Foundation. When they were briefed about the project, they immediately, decided within a couple of weeks to co-finance the project, and both these partners agreed to give $5 million each for this project. So $66 million from the Green Climate Fund, $5 million each from the USAID and the Coca-Cola Foundation, and around $2 million from the WWF network. If you look at the project document, we are talking about around 1 million people who will be directly getting benefit out of this project. Indirectly, we are talking about around 10 million people. Now, this shows the journey of Recharge Pakistan. The thing is that we know that a financial mechanism or a fund like Green Climate Fund is bureaucratic, but sometimes we also face, my apologies, for my colleagues and friends from the government, but sometimes the government bureaucracy also, instead of facilitating a process, sometimes also, which we call, the red tapeism, some hindrance. We were asked to get NOCs from the 21 provincial departments. It took us 1 year to get those NOCs, but we did it. So the plan, the idea which was conceived after the 2010 floods in 2012 was materialized last year, when in the July board meeting, the GCF approved this project, and it was officially launched last year. Now, this slide just shows the partners. Obviously, the major work will be done by the provincial departments, the forest, wildlife, irrigation departments. But there are, and I think I can't, I think it won't be justice if I don't mention the role of Federal Flood Commission and the Ministry of Water Resources, along with the Ministry of Climate Change. Both these ministries own the project. Both these ministries decided to take it forward. All the technical support was provided by the Federal Flood Commission, but obviously there were other partners. When we started this, the original project had 11 sites. You can see, in the map, And these were the sites, by the way, during the pre-feasibility and feasibility studies, world's leading engineering consultants were hired to identify the sites. They used the latest computer models, remote sensing, GIS, satellite images, MET data. So all that data was, fed into those models, and these sites were identified. Pre-feasibility studies were done for, the 11 sites, but then it was decided because of the funding to, select 6 sites. So these were the 6 sites which were identified, but eventually, because the funding, after the 22 floods, we came to 4 sites. Now these 4 sites, 2 of them in the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province, the Di Khan and the Ramak watershed. The other 2 sites are in Sindh, the Manchar Lake, which is again one of the largest water bodies, freshwater lake, and the Chakkar Lehri watershed, which is in the Balochistan province. If you look at the components, the first component is the main component, which is all about green infrastructure, which is all about eco-based adaptation. As an engineer, we've been trained that for every problem, whether it's flood or, there's an engineering solution. But this is the project which is primarily based on nature-based solutions. And what are those nature-based solutions? Those are clearing the natural drainage, trying to reduce the flow of hill torrents, retention ponds, small ponds, reviving the wetlands, reviving the forest in the catchment areas. All these things are included and are part and parcel. The second is where it's the policy. It's very important. We do have national adaptation plan, but we need to have adaptation plan for literally every district of Pakistan. So through this project, at least for these sites, we will review the policy framework, and we will, through a consultative process, would also like to revisit the policy framework. The third is we're working with the communities on alternate livelihoods, climate smart agriculture. We also want to have 7 businesses, sustainable businesses coming out of the new 7 businesses coming out of this project. I won't go into the details, but if you have any query, you can visit the website, and I and my colleagues, Fawad as the project director, Amal as the communications manager, we are here to answer all your queries. But just to give you an idea that the number of green infrastructure, the flood protection, the embankments, the gabion bunds, you can see that in these. And if you go to the Balochistan and Sindh side, similar infrastructure is there. And then I think this should I click it again? Acha. So I think that's obviously I know that I can't do justice to explain this 8 years of journey in 10 minutes. But thank you very much once again for your attention. Thank you very much, all the partners. The thing is, parliamentarians and bureaucrats, the two, Faisal Amin and Shah Zaman, these are the people with a positive, frame of mind, and who've been supporting such initiatives and this particular project. So, sir, thank you very much for all your support. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. I would now like to invite Mr. Manuel Palga Vidal. He's the global lead of Climate and Energy WWF International. Manuel leads WWF's global climate and energy practice and serves as interim chair of the IUCN Climate Crisis Commission. With over 35 years in environmental law and policy, he was Peru's Minister for Environment from 2011 to 2016 for 5 years. He was also the COP20 president in 2014. Vidal is a board member of Forest Trends, Amazon Conservation Association, and Care Peru, and serves on the Science-Based Targets Initiative. He's also on the steering committees of F20 and Voluntary Carbon Markets Integrity Initiative. Holding a degree in law from Pontificia University, Peru, and business law, he's also an ambassador for the Race to Zero and Race to Resilience campaigns, and was inducted into Kyoto's Earth Hall of Fame. Sir.
Thank you. I'm rushing the moderator because we know that we are running out of time, and that is why I will be extremely short. to respect everybody's time. So friends, when it is about Recharge Pakistan, some keywords pop up from my mind. Power. And I will make my reflections around the concept of power. Why? Because when it is about Recharge Pakistan, we can see what is the power of evidence. We know how much in countries as Pakistan, among many, many other countries, we are beating all the hit records of the history of the planet. But also, the evidence, what it is telling us, it is that we are and we will continue being affected because of climate extreme events. So something that for me it is so important in the current COP29, it is to change the narrative. Because the narrative, it is always telling us we are having or we have just suffered the most damaging flood in the last 50 years. So we are always comparing to the past. When what we have to do it is to say, and we will continue having this. And we have to be prepared and we have to be well adapted to what we know will continue coming. And that is why the importance of the evidence and the importance of changing the narrative. But also it is showing the power of the resilience of the most vulnerable people in Pakistan, in these communities that were affected because of those extreme floods in Pakistan. So power of resilience and power of evidence, my first reflection. That moves me to the second, the power of process. Look, we are here in COP29 discussing two important things. For sure, finance and all of that it is something that we are expecting to get. But two new things, synergies in between climate and nature-based solutions. And we know that we have already received a call from Cali COP16 to promote a dialogue in between conventions, to promote better understanding in between planning process for climate and disease, long-term strategies, national adaptation plans, and for biodiversity, MBSAPs, the biodiversity and ecosystem services plans. So, Recharge Pakistan, it is showing the power of the synergies, but also the power of nature-based solutions. Nature-based solutions, it is a key instrument to promote not only that connection, but also to empower people, to work with people on the ground, and to have effective outcomes. That moves me to the third reflection, the power of the objectives of Recharge Pakistan. Hamad have already mentioned adaptation, enabling environment, and enhanced communities. But also, it is related to restoration, rehabilitation, and recharge of watershed. So I see that those are key objectives when it is about adapting Pakistan to the consequences of climate change by empowering communities. And that moves me to my last comment, the power of the willingness and the power of the partnership. Because Recharge Pakistan, for sure, it is showing the power of WWF, a huge network with more than 100 offices around the world, but also the connection of WWF with people, because it is not just to talk about in the global arena, it is to work with people on the ground. But this power of WWF, it has been strengthened because of the partnership and the willingness of many partners. USAID, and we have here her representative, that has shown that willingness to support Recharge Pakistan, the Coca-Cola Foundation, that it is related to, for sure, a private sector that it is also contributing, and for sure, that depends a lot on what it is, water supply or what access to water to produce even their own products. The power of the government of Pakistan, that it is so instrumental and so key in moving Recharge Pakistan forward, and for sure, this more economic partnership of the Green Climate Fund that has already supported Recharge Pakistan, that I am sure it will be and it will have a strong and successful outcome. So congratulations Pakistan, congratulations to the partners, congratulations to the world, because in this process we are and we have to continue raising the relevance of adaptation. Adaptation, it is the most hidden figure on the climate debate. it is easier to talk about mitigation, but we have to raise the relevance of adaptation, because adaptation is related to people, to vulnerable, for that who are suffering. For that it is Recharge Pakistan. Thank you very much. I have to run to some other event, I know that, but my apologies for that, but a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Can we quickly have a group photo?
Yeah.
Sure.
Thank you, much appreciated.
Before you go.
I'll let you go with that. It's not
बाद में देखिए थोड़ा सा आगे आगे बीच में करना चाहिए आप थोड़ा आगे
Thank you very much.
एक सेकंड शी वांट्स ये तार नीचे देखना ऊपर आ जाए Thank you so much. Thank you.
जल्दी बुलाओ.
Thank you so much. Can we settle down? पहले Tristan.
हाँ, Tristan को बुलाओ.
बिठा दो खुद से Can we please? Thank you so much. I would now like to invite Kristen Sari. She's the USAID Acting Chief Climate Officer. Chris serves as the Acting Chief Climate Officer at USAID and is the nominee for Assistant Secretary of State for Oceans and International Environmental and Scientific Affairs. With over 2 decades in ocean, land, and climate policy, Chris led GoBlue LLC and collaborated with Smithsonian and NOAA to develop a framework for monitoring ocean biodiversity. From 2016 to 22, she was the president and CEO of the National Marine Sanctuary Foundation, championing marine conservation programs and habitat restoration efforts. Chris held senior roles in the Obama-Biden administration and spent 8 years in Capitol Hill working on environmental issues with the Senate Commerce Committee. A native of Michigan with a long life connection to environmental stewardship, Chris' passion for marine conservation began as a child in Australia and has grown through global experiences in Namibia and beyond. Here you go.
Thank you.
This is about 4 continents.
Thank you so much for that kind introduction. I'm also going to keep my remarks short. Thank you to the government of Pakistan for hosting us at the pavilion and to WWF for organizing this event. And I also want to thank WWF, the GCF, and Coca-Cola Foundation for your partnership on Recharge Pakistan. In particular, as we've seen today, just the tremendous vision and ambition that this project embodies. You know, USAID Administrator Power often cites the 2022 flooding in Pakistan as one of the most defining events in her tenure. It's one where the connection between the climate crisis and development was really made crystal clear. As we saw and as we've heard, the flooding caused devastating loss of life and many more hardships. Children were kept out of school. There was a huge spike in malaria cases and other waterborne diseases, and the destruction of crops and livestock leading to food insecurity. USAID really worked with the government of Pakistan to respond to each of these challenges, and the projects like Recharge will follow through on our long-standing partnership to make sure that floods won't impact people in the same way in the future. Just a few weeks ago, the U.S. government actually put out a new report about how the system's approach to infrastructure resilience planning makes for stronger and smarter, climate-smart communities. And I think our collaboration with Pakistan is a model of this vision. The Recharge Pakistan project will take this to the next level by restoring forests, wetlands, and waterways. This means building buffers against landslides and erosions, which often yield a myriad of other benefits, such as providing homes for wildlife, lowering local temperatures, providing clean water, and of course, capturing carbon. We hope this project will be a model for the rest of the world, demonstrating how Pakistan is a leader in building in a climate-smart way and providing vision for a much better world. As I said, vision and ambition, which is incredible. So again, I want to congratulate the government of Pakistan, WWF, for the launch of this incredible project. USAID looks forward to being a partner. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Kristen, for the insight and those kind words. Our project is spread in 3 provinces. One of them and the biggest interventions are from KP under the DI Khan and Ramak region for that. I would now like to invite Mr. Shahid Zaman. He's the Secretary Forest at the KP. He is a graduate from the LSC and member of the Pakistan Administrative Services and has been Secretary Forest in almost half the country. There you go.
Thank you very much. Good morning, thank you very much, and Assalamu alaikum. I think everybody's already said the most relevant things. Just now Kirsten said a lot of good things, Manuel said them all. And since the project is going to be happening in the south of KP, one of our most vulnerable areas, I think it's very, very good and very high time that we started concentrating on these highly vulnerable areas within our territories and regions. I think it's a singularly lucky moment for us that a lot of components have been put together. So being the person who's looking after climate, forest, environment, and wildlife, as Kirsten just pointed out, that forests are the sort of the bedrock of how we start addressing these issues. So of course, the watersheds are very important. We're doing a lot of forest work. We've done a lot of good forest work since 2014 in our province. There's more coming. We've got a couple of very big projects coming up. Both of them have been approved, and these are largely in the northern areas, which is where our biggest watersheds are. But of course, we have to address the south, which is what this is doing, because that's where the vulnerabilities are. Not that there are not vulnerabilities in the northern part, but of course it all cascades down. And then of course at the same time the carbon sinks, we need that. Home for wildlife, we need that. The communities, all the vulnerable communities, they're spread all over. Things are getting more and more tricky by the day, as we've all seen and as everybody's spoken. So I think it's just the best moment in time for this project to come in, and we thank our partners, the WWF, of course, the USAID, and the government of Pakistan, so that we all get together, put our hands together, and inshallah hope to achieve the results that we intend to do so from this project. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Shahid Saab. And now as we approach to the end, last but not the least, our one of the biggest supports right now is Mr. Faisal Amin. He's a member of National Assembly of Pakistan, also a member of Climate Change Authority, and one of the biggest support in the provinces.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you very much. I have been part of that pain that Hamad said, red tapeism. And on behalf of the government of KP, I assure you, I'll do my best to push it. I won't take a lot of time. I would like to thank the WWF, the USAID, the GCF, Coca-Cola Foundation, because the areas in KP that have been chosen, they are the poorest. In terms of GDP, this is the poorest zone. These 2 watersheds in the last floods brought the biggest district of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa 80% under the water. So 80% of this district was under the water because of these, the interventions that have been planned. Of course, nothing can work without communities. In the government side, we always say we make a PC1, we do this, we do that. Until and unless the locals are with you, you can't do anything. USAID is helping us parallel in another watershed in the Gomalzam project. It is nearing its completion. In the next 6 months, inshallah, we'll be able to complete it. On behalf of the government of KP, we assure you whatever support will be needed. The bureaucracy is here. We have someone who is passionate about climate himself. So this is a rare combination. I would like to thank Ma'am Romina. I think she is a busy bee. She has left. for organizing this so well, for getting everybody here. Thank you very much once again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. With that, we come to the end, and I'd like to thank everybody for joining us here. Thank you so much, and have a good day. अगर नहीं भी लिया तो एक पड़ा मैं लेके आया हूँ, आज सुबह 2 और ले आया हूँ, बैग में रख के भर के लाया हूँ। अमल फैसल को